So the Packers just made their final pick of the 2024 draft, their second pick in the 7th round. After selecting QB from Tulane, Michael Pratt, they finally get a cornerback. They decide to draft Kalen King, cornerback from Penn State, with pick number 255. And when we look at the Packers and their draft needs this year, no doubt safety, offensive line, linebacker, some of the biggest needs. I did think that it was a possibility the Packers drafted a corner early in the draft. When that didn't happen, I didn't think it was necessarily a necessity because the Packers do have a somewhat good amount of depth there with Carrington Valentine, Eric Stokes, Corey Ballantyne. And so getting a corner later, they do get a little bit more here at the position. But let me read here a scouting report from Dane Brugler of The Athletic, shared by Matt Schneidman on X. And Matt Schneidman said this, that he was a first-round pick in Dane Brugler's 2024 mock draft that he released right after the 2023 draft. So this past season, something must have happened if he dropped from that point to where he is now. But let's read here from Dane Brugler. A 2-year starter, King was an outside cornerback in former Penn State defensive coordinator Manny Diaz's split coverage scheme. He put himself on the NFL radar with a standout 2022 season, number 3 in the FBS with 21 passes defended, and looked like a future first-round pick. However, cornerback is a volatile position, and King's 2023 tape exemplified that. He managed just 2 passes defended in his final college season, although he saw fewer targets, and struggled against the top opponents on his schedule, most notably in a tough matchup against Ohio State's Marvin Harrison Jr. Growing up with a twin who shared the same passion for football meant King had a lifelong competitor, which helped develop his tenacity and toughness. Though he is a springy athlete, his twitch can be negated by below-average long speed and underdeveloped route anticipation versus savvy receivers. Overall, King is a fluid athlete with the aggressive play personality desired for the position, but his inconsistent tackling, coverage spacing, and feel for when to take chances will continue to result in volatility in his game. He is viewed as a possible safety candidate by several NFL teams. And so I think just the fact that this guy used to be seen as a potential first-rounder, the Packers get him in round 7, that sort of excites me because sometimes, these guys have down years. We saw last year Dontavian Wicks in his final season in college had a down year. He would have gone much higher if drafted a year prior. And so I think there's some upside here. The fact that he does have that ability to have a top-tier season means that maybe the Packers can develop him and teach him and coach him up, and maybe he gets to be that kind of level of corner. Who knows? Obviously, 7th-round picks, it's sort of like you don't know exactly what you're going to get, but sometimes things pan out. Even last year, the Packers drafted cornerback Carrington Valentine in round 7, and he played a lot of good football for the Packers last season. So I like the pick to end the draft, getting a cornerback who has some upside. There's obviously maybe some things that are concerning as well, but you never know what could happen. So that is the final pick of the Packers draft. I will be out with a video grading the entire draft, so stay tuned for that one. Thank you guys who have watched all these videos. I appreciate you guys as always, and it's always fun to cover this draft, so appreciate you guys tuning in.